everyone. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining this special workshop. I hope you will enjoy. I hope you will learn, each of us. Let us know, first of all, where you are listening or where you are watching this video. Or let me know also if you can hear me loud and clear, please. You can chat. You can put something in the chat or raise your thumbs up or down to let me know if you can hear me. You can write where you are listening to us, why are you joining. Are you happy? It's Monday, you need to be happy. Oh no. So let me know where you are joining. Where are you listening to this workshop today? Are you in Africa? If yes, in which country? I'm happy to be here. I'm Dr. Lohiafunu. I will wait for a few minutes, just few minutes for some people to join us. And we are going to learn together for 1 hour and a half, especially if you have question. I hope you have question. The point is to share, but it's also to learn from you. So you need to have question to learn from each of you. If you feel uncomfortable speaking in English, please do speak in French. I will speak in English and translate. I speak in French also and translate back to English for those who like to understand what we are learning. Thank you, Lionel from UK. I can see Ngono Elizabeth. I can see Loic Poting, Urake Ramato, Fabiola, Estelle, Sango Paul Eric, Bissan, Arlette, Amina. Let us know where you are joining, if you are happy to be here, what you are expecting to learn also. I know you know what you're expecting to learn, so it is good to have a reminder again. People are shy. You need to interact, guys. If you're not interacting, I won't move. Estelle, Fabiola, Urake, Arlette, Amina, Loic, or you just turn on the Zoom and you run away. I cannot see anyone in the chat except Lionel from France and Elizabeth from UK. The other one, they are nowhere. Thank you, Lionel. Thank you. At least you interact. You are excited. The other people are not excited like Lionel, apparently. Lionel and Elizabeth. Anyway, so this is a 3-day challenges. When I say challenges, it means that you take the resolution to change something in your life. I guess maybe something is not working properly. So we have some people replying now that have said that they're not happy, like Lionel. Miracle from Cameroon, Baysan from Malaysia, and Fabiola from Konsamba, Cameroon. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dorothée, for joining, Reche, and Kagumabel. Okay, thank you all for joining. So it's a 3-day challenges. It's a 3-day challenges to learn and try to write a concept note within 3 days. But we cannot take you straight to writing up like people used to do. At least from the understanding I gather over the past years in writing, in winning grants, I realized that there are some fundamentals that you need to understand, and particularly like how the funding games or how the funding works in academia. So that's why the D1 today, we are talking about the funding models in academia or trying to understand the funders' psychology and try to understand how to increase our chances of success. Because yes, you can increase your chances of success. It does not mean that you always win. It only means that you have an approach that increases your capability to getting funded. And when you do that sustainably enough, you can get funded or awarded at least 2 or 3 times per year. So while people are still joining and introducing themselves, Alec from Yaoundé, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So yes, we are going to learn today, each of us. And I'm sharing what I've been learning of my career. And I hope for those of you who have been taking other courses, you are going to let us know what you have also acquired there, and if there's something new that you learn. And if you learn something new, maybe a sentences, maybe a statement or a concept that you didn't know before, let us do something together. If you heard something new that you enjoy it, just say gold. Just say, write in the chat gold, or perhaps priceless if it's something that is even above gold. If you learn something new today, and during these 3 days, please write in the chat gold or priceless. That make me realize that I help you, I give you value. And I am more into to continue to give you value since I know you are getting something new. So without further ado, let me share my screen, except you have any further comment before I start. I'm very, very happy to have you, Richie, from Brazzaville. Wow, Congo. Great. We have Malaysia, we have Brazzaville, we have France, we have UK. There's no one from Canada, from Ghana, from Nigeria. No, not yet. Okay, let me share my screen because I want you to be ready before I start. Are you ready? Are you ready all together? Are you ready to step in the new version of yourself, the one that leads, inspired, and gets funded? Because we need to be ready. If you're not ready, you won't take it. You need to absorb the information, and for that, you need to realize that you are taking action. That's how I want you to interact. That's why I asked you to write or comment or maybe do thumbs up. Okay, let me share my screen because I realize many people are still joining and I won't waste time of other people also coming now. Can you see my screen? Oops. I have to stop sharing 1 second and close Zoom. Okay. Share back. Yes, I was saying that this is a challenge because you are here for 3 days. It's not easy to dedicate your time 3 days with someone. You don't even know the person. And the person is saying that she's going to help you change something. So it's a challenge for you. It's a challenge for me also to cope for 3 days, hoping to give you value, hoping to provide you some kind of information that you didn't have before. So I say that it's the 3 days to transform your career and achieve excellence in academia because everything you're going to get today can be applied to any other aspect of your life, not only funding. So it's a way of thinking that you have to take on from today's as a researcher, because I think in academia, there are so many things that we are not taught at school, but now are getting hard, making our life harder. So the day one, we are talking about understanding the funding system. Today, that's what we are going to do. And I'm going to unpack a bit about how the funder thinks and what the funder expects from you. So I was asking if you are ready to make real change in your life, in your journey as a researcher or as an academician, and step into the version of yourself who leads, inspire, or get funded. Because actually, when you want to lead, you also need to help other people lead like you. And you need money to pursue your vision. That's why we need funding. And we don't know how to get it. That's why we want to learn how to write grant. Some of you may not be there because they want to lead. They may be there because they have been trying to getting funded unsuccessfully. And they did everything. They published in high impact journalism. They had collaborators, but still they're not recognized at the level of their talent. Some of you are unsure how to turn ideas into fundable projects. Some of you don't even know where to start. Some of you are exhausted of trying alone without mentorship or clarity. Others are just afraid of rejection, so they never try. So this is slowly killing your confidence. So I want you to resist this thing. And if you have been recognizing yourself today, this is the new time for you to start with this grant writing challenge. If someone feels that it does not belong to this home, it's still time to run away, to not waste your time. That's what we are going to do these 3 days. Today, funding system, someone does not feel at the right place, can still go. Or if you feel that you're at the right place, then we can push you. So before going, I want to let you know something. I want you to realize that funding or grant or money taking is the key to a thriving career and financial stability. Is the key. So if you don't have money as a researcher, or if you don't know how to win grant as a researcher, you may end up really being stuck. But in order to win funding, you need to master the funding game. You need to understand how to win grants. You need to understand the code of the funders and what is not say in the application call you see or in any other courses you are taking. Like this citation that I've written myself, if you don't understand how research careers works, don't be surprised yours does not. So if you don't understand how the career is working, how people, some researchers are thriving, are getting rewarded, are getting nominated, awarded, you should not be surprised why your career is not like these people. You need to understand what they are doing. You need to understand what strategy, what tactics they're implementing so that you start having the result they are getting. If you don't know that, you should not be surprised of the current situation you are in your career. If you're already ahead, that's good. That means you need to push you because you should not be stuck at a certain level thinking that you are higher enough. No, if you're never higher enough, you still need to push you to a higher level because it's only by unleashing your full potential that you will create lasting legacy in the world. So that means you should not stop being postdoc or senior lecturer or professor. No, you should continue again and again your transformation and your impact. So if you have been feeling overlooked, frustrated, and you're an early career researcher or mid-career or senior career researcher, this is your path to excellence in academia. So today, as I mentioned, we see why most proposals fail and how to fix yours, how to win grants predictably in academia, and understand the subtlety behind every winning proposal. But before that, let me introduce myself properly to those who have never heard about me and who may be thinking, who am I to discuss about grant writing or winning grant even, or even career in academia. So my name is Lohia Funu, as I've said. I have a PhD in pharmaceutical microbiology from the University of KwaZulu-Natal. I had it since 7 years ago, but I have 10 years of research experience at, first of all, head of research at the Research Institute of the Center of Expertise in Biological Analytics of Cameroon, which is in Yaoundé, Cameroon. I'm also the founder of Dare to Dream for Africa, which is the host of this webinar or workshop. And I'm also the host of Dare to Africa Stories podcast, which is a podcast where I'm hosting the top leading scientists or researchers in Africa. And I've been awarded over 2 years, within 2 years, around 500,000 euros as PI from Africa. And I've contributed to project for 1 million, still also from Africa. After that, I've been nominated as honorary lecturer at the University of St. Andrews, which is in the United Kingdom. I'm also serving as honorary senior lecturer at the University of KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa. And I've been awarded, and I'm a recipient of the RSTM Emerging Research Leader 2024, as you can see in the image. I also serve as a fellow of the Global New Academy, affiliate of the African Academy of Science, and fellow of the Cameroon Academy of Young Scientists. If you don't know this, notice that Cameroon Academy of Young Scientists is the Young Academy of Science of Cameroon, while the African one is from Africa and the global one is for the world, meaning they're only taking the top researchers from Cameroon, from Africa, and from across the world under 40. You cannot be in this society over 40. Once you are 40, you are going to be excluded from this society. So I'm among the top scientists from Cameroon, from Africa, and worldwide also. I also serve as the World Health Organization expert since 2021. And you can see that I've reached this organization as an expert for the foodborne disease epidemiology reference group. I was under 30, and you can see that I'm the only Black woman. We are 3 Africans, and the only Black woman there, and the youngest expert from this group. But this has not always been like this. I have not started being at this level. I've started like some of you who are Africans, some of you who are Cameroonians, because this is me in 2013. I was only at this time thinking as a woman to have a family, a small job to raise my family, and then stay home. I've never thought about being at the World Health Organization or having a PhD even. Even after getting a master, I was not dreaming of a PhD. Long story stop, I ended up moving away to look for a PhD because the salary I received from this first organization I've worked for in Cameroon was a serious laboratory in a public institution. I was paid less than 45 euro. And I realized that this is not possible to live with 45 euros or less than 45 euro. It was even less than the minimum wage in Cameroon at the time, in 2013. So I found an opportunity to do a PhD, fully funded PhD in South Africa at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. And this was the one of the top universities in Africa at the time. It was the top 5, if I remember well, and among the 500 in the world. I was mentored or supervised by a professor who bet on me. She helped me to do a PhD that was funded, and she secured a lot of funding with my proposal that I've written under her leadership. And I published for my PhD 12 papers in high impact journals. And I've also, excuse me, I have to close my camera because I think its bandwidth is a bit poor. I've published 12 papers in high impact journals, and we won together several projects for this PhD. And you can see that some of these projects, some of these articles were the most cited for my research, for my professor, and for myself with around 1,000 papers to date. Now it's 1,000 papers, 1,000 citations, sorry, to date. But when I came back to my country, Cameroon, I wanted to have funding. I wanted to do like my professor, winning funding to do research. And the easy tool for me was replicating what I did for my PhD. Just that I only had rejection for 2 years from 2017 or 2018 to 2020. I only had rejection without knowing why, despite all the application I was putting in, all the effort I did. So until I met this mentor, Professor, I think something's happening in the network, Professor Stephen Bentley from Wellcome Stanley Institute and Dr. Ahel Blocker from Evotech in France, who revealed me the secret of crowdfunding. The things that no one ever revealed to you, because when you are going to do training, they never tell you the real truth. They only show you what you can see online, if I can say it like that, what you can see on Google. But at the end of the day, you all have the same knowledge, the same information. Some people are getting awarded while others are not. That means there's something behind it that people don't never tell you. So at the end, when I met them, I won within 6 months of meeting Ariel and Stephen, my first grant. And I replicated what they taught me. The second year, I won 2 grants that year. And I replicated it again. I moved from 0% success rate to 60% success rate. All this from Africa. I was never been outside from Africa until I won my Marie Curie postdoctoral fellowship. That led me to flew away and come back later. So this is my story. This is who I am. And this is why, based on my knowledge, based on the information I got, I say maybe I should share it with other people the way I've understood it so that it can help other people to thrive also. Now, based on that, I'm asking you the question, am I legitimate to lead this workshop? I don't know, I cannot see, can I see this hands up? Am I legitimate to lead this workshop, or you should just run away? I'm not legitimated at all. Oh, yes, Bisan is putting I can see some hearts, can see some yes in the chat, some thumbs up, thank you. Okay, so I can continue, right? Can I continue or no? Okay, thank you. I will continue now to the topic of the day, because now we are moving more seriously into why most researchers get stuck. It's true that the first thing why most researchers get stuck is because of their belief. They believe that they're not capable. They believe that they need high institution, or they need powerful collaborators, or they need powerful or countless papers. That's the first thing, the belief. So once you move from your belief and you start to realize that you have actually some values, you may figure out how to move from your limitation to an area of opportunity and abundance. But the other things now, more technically, why some researchers get stuck. So that means people who are actually either are applying or are trying to apply, why are they staying stuck? I have to move the screen. Oops. Something is happening to my computer. One moment, please. Oops, I'm sorry. My computer is a bit fuzzy. It's a bit frozen in my hand, so I have to stop back and come back again, the sharing. That's when you don't let the computer sleep. Oh, the computer is tired. Anyway, let me put it back and start again. Can you see my screen? No. No, not yet. Okay. And now, can you see my screen now, please? Okay, thank you for confirming. Can you see it in full screen mode now? Okay, thank you. So let's go back first of all for behind the subtlety behind every winning proposal. First of all, when you see a call for application, when a funder gives you a call for application, when you see it released somewhere, the funder is expecting some kind of research. The funder is expecting some kind of application, and is also expecting some kind of output from the researcher who are going to be awarded. And I try to put all the information I gather since I've applied to almost all funding available from Africa. Everything that you can know from Africa, I've applied to almost all of them, except some US one. But most of them that are European based or African based, I applied to all of them. And I realized that there's a kind of models in terms of funding, first of all. So I call this thing the funding models, where the funders, when you see the call being released, they are looking for some key thing from the project. And I've tried to map them out in what I call the funding models, as I've said. The first thing I can see is that, okay, I try to remove this one. The first thing that when you say call with a low value, let's say the initial funding is low money, low time. This is usually to help you get started. I call this started funding. And remember that you're in academia. It's different than in industrial world, because in industry, the get started funding can be 100K. But in academia, it's usually below 10K, if not below 500K. When you see a low value call telling you to do an application with within a year, usually it's help you to get started. It's to give you confidence to grow, to start, and to help you realize that you can do more where you are, even if you're in Africa. So they want you to give you more opportunity. So I call this one starter funding. Low money, low time. You can screenshot the screen if you want. because you are going to put online the replay on YouTube, but I don't think it will last long because we are going to put it online, but it won't last for more than 2 weeks online. So you can screenshot if you want. The second thing is the skill funding. Yeah, they want you to develop skills with time investment. So they give you low money still, but now they give you a bit of time. When I say low money now, the money has increased from maybe 20K to 50K. And they want you to get trained, to get skills. You can have here what you call OWSG, career fellowship, early career fellowship. You can have the RF, career development fellowship, where they only want you to go and learn something new. Or they want you to learn to get skilled in something. And they want to know that the skills you want to acquire is aligned with the chercheur you want to become. If they don't realize that you are learning something associated with the future you are dreaming of and the future that they need to see also in the world, they won't give you the money. Now, remember what we also say, if you learn something new, put gold in the chat or priceless if it's too much for you. The third thing is create something. Now, create something is around 100K, above 50 or 70,000 K to 200K or 250K. Yeah, they want you to create something. They want high impact project with financial support. They give you high money, low time. Now the high money can be 250K for 2 years. They don't give you a lot of time, but they give you a lot of money for you to feel so much comfortable to work and to create something within this short time frame. So this is high money, low time. You need to create something. Are we still together? Are we still together? Yes, I can see some thumbs up. Okay. Now the final one is to get non-funding. There are some funding that are above 250K. Most of them, like Welcome Early Career Award, Welcome Career Development Award, they want you to get known. That means you have secured most of this in the need here, and they want you not to get known, to establish full reputation with considerable resources. They give you a lot of money and a lot of time also to realize it. Usually it's 4 years, 5 years, even 8 years. They give you really a lot of money to create your unit, to set up everything, to buy stuff. When you have this kind of funding, usually they know that you are going to create lasting impact in the world. They don't give this kind of money to someone who will give up along the way. And now this led me to move now to the kind of researcher you are. Because since you have the funding models in academia, we also have the kind of researcher they expect you to be. First of all, we have what we call, this is again based on my own understanding. We have what we call newbie. You have never won any single grant. You have even maybe never applied or you have never won only. You are newbie, you don't know where to start. You are aspiring when you have won maybe 500K or accumulation of 500K. You are just aspiring, you are trying to understand how to become an ultimate researcher. You are trying to understand how to move and contribute to the world, to your society. You're just starting. When you are aspiring, you can move to passionate or you can move to purpose-driven. What does it mean? Passionate, usually you have 50, 500K or 10K. That means you can still have a lot of energy to care about a problem. So you find the problem that is really important. It is passionate. You are passionate about this problem. You want to solve it. That's what I mean, passionate researcher. Now, purpose-driven is taking really time to solve this problem. He has now 50K that he has received or in between, and he's not really caring about it. And funders back his purpose. Funder give him money to create the future he want to create. At this point, some researchers can give up. Some researchers reach this point and they give up. Some researchers are also there, they are never able to move to purpose-driven. Why? Because they were not sure why they won the first time. So they won maybe 10K the first time or 500K the first time. They were unsure what made them win. So when they want to move ahead, they're only facing rejection and they never reach there. Some reach there because of the support they receive. And turns up that something happened. They're unable to move ahead year or year. So what happened is that you need to understand why you are doing your research. And the funders as you see them, you don't see even them, you are just writing, but they're able to read between your application to understand where you are located, to understand if it's just the patient that you are taking knowledge here and there, and you are feeling this information as trending, and you are just surfing on this information to write the proposal, or is it something you are really caring about? Oh, you are caring about it, you face rejection, but you continue because you feel that you won't stop until you reach your vision, until you create the future you want. That's this kind of research, I call them elite researcher, like myself or some of you who are there, who have already secured around 200K or above that one. And they have not yet reached the 1 million curve or the 1 million bells, but they are still moving, transitioning in and there. Once you win one project of 1 million or above 250K, you become an legitimate researcher. No one can stop you anymore. All funders are now funding you. All funders are now funding you. Yes, you can still be rejected, but most of them receive invitation to write nothing, everything they want to do a project the funder care about, not the other way around. Because they want one project that was above 500K in itself or even 1 million in itself. Usually it's a get known funding. Once you reach there, you cannot go back anymore. You know that your legacy will be lasting in the community because you are shaping other leaders, you are shaping a better future for everyone. Now they are helping you, they're giving you no invitation to give the project you want to receive the money. So that is what I understand when I was trying myself to learn in academia. And if you move from newbies to purpose-driven, I've not yet seen it. If you 50K, maybe you can have 20K, it's possible, or 10K, it's possible from newbie to 20K. It is very much possible. But from newbie to 250K, I've never seen that one. Probably it's possible for a certain level of researcher, I don't know, but I've never seen myself with my eyes, someone who has never won any project before, award or travel grant, nothing at all, and just come there and win 250K. I've never seen that one. Usually you need to have some of this funding before moving here or here, usually. And this match with the funding models in academia, where at each of these points, you need to have something that you give to the funder. Are you becoming a better researcher? Are you creating something new? Are you getting known so that they take your recognition to have a better impact in the world? Or are you just starting? These are the funding model in academia. And all the way in your application, they try to assess, to measure where you are standing. They try to assess where you are fitting. And they try to see if you will be the kind of researcher who is going to have a lasting impact in the world. This kind of researcher. If they don't feel it, if in any other means they feel that you are lying, they don't give you the money. I pause there now a bit. I pause a bit from now to see if there's any question in the chat because I cannot see the chat since I'm sharing my full screen. I pause a bit if there's any question. I can see some gold. Thank you, gold. Thank you, Esther and Imagist. Rachel, also thank you. Okay, so there's no question for now. Can I continue? We still have question at the end. So if you can ask question now, okay, let me continue. So we still have 30-minute question at the end. So I push you with the next part. So if you don't understand this funding game, when you see a call for application, realize really behind the line what the funder care most. If you realize it, you try to see if you have everything, if you provide them with everything they need to see in your application, if the story you are telling is aligned with the kind of research they want to see. If you do that very well, and then your application become a bit enhanced with this small adjustment. Now, of course, you still have the science that you have to assess. You still have some other element that you have to assess, and you are going to see them now as I move. So if you don't do that, you are going to stay stuck in a cycle of where you have short-term contract for those who rely on people to getting funded and call them to be assistant or to be field workers to have like $200 or €200, and they are happy or 250 €, they are happy because they have this short-term contract will come for 6 months or 1 year, they are happy, but it does not guarantee stability. Or you'll be worrying about supporting your family because when you're in academia, particularly in Africa, usually we know academia does not pay well. So people are really upset in academia. They're frustrated and they feel in their pay because they have expertise, they contribute a lot, but the money at the end is not rewarding. They can even see that influencer or entrepreneur have more money than them. So it's annoying and it leads to frustration. So me, I don't want that for you. That's why I'm sharing you this information, because you have to become someone who leads. Because as you're leading, you realize that funding gives you also money to be stable. Funding gives you money to be stable. And funders know that they are all well aware of the fact that we don't have enough money in academia. So they provide funding. That's why in some calls you will see they provide salary for the PI, not for the collaborator, for the PI, and they give you even the range of salary you can claim. This salary, if it's for 5 years and you're in Africa and you have been paying in euros or in dollars, it will be 10 times higher than the one you are receiving as a lecturer. I don't say that you should not be lecturer or you should not be working for other people or that you should not be research assistant. But it's always good to have the opportunity to create value, to depend on yourself, on your own self, than to depend on other people. At least that's the point of view I have in terms of in this new world we are living now. It's good to be the one who create value because you have the card in your hands. You can shape and move as you want. So why most researchers get stuck now when they are writing the proposal or when they are trying to get funded with the application? The first thing is that they write generic or jargon-heavy proposal. There are three things. The first thing, they write generic or jargon-heavy proposal. We are going to see in the next slide what does it mean. The second thing is that they chase big name. So they want to be known. They want to be the person who is known for this thing. So that's, some people are just waiting for that, or to say that I've also won this kind of project. Now people will respect me in my community or in my university. The third thing, and the most important thing, is that they have an undefined path. They don't even know where they're going. They're just following the winds. As people are moving, they're also moving, and they're following maybe the next person they are seeing without knowing themselves what they really want. And this is a key problem because this is the best way to be in a comfortable and stable position. So writing generic jargon-heavy proposal, having an undefined path or roadmap, and big name chasing instead of credibility. This end up being stuck and also to overwork, to be in stress because you will work more than you usually be. And you become also invisible and underfunded because at the end of the day, you don't produce what you should be producing despite the work you have been doing. I know it may be hard. I know it may be not be nice to say it, but I think this is what people are facing because most of the applications I've been reviewing, some of them are too technical for someone to understand it. Even if you're in a technical field, people from other fields should understand what you are doing. If you don't understand it, you cannot get awarded. And if you don't have a clear roadmap of who you are as a researcher and where you are going as a researcher, when you are going to write your application, since there are questions to assess who you are as a researcher, since there are questions to understand where you are going as a researcher, your vision, your career goals, and how you are contributing even without money as a researcher, if the funder don't see any link in that, they realize that you don't even know where you're going, so they won't fund you also. You can go and check if you have already applied to any grant. You will see that they always have some personal question they're asking you. This is because they want to measure your capability to become the kind of researcher they're looking for. Besides your application, besides any single thing, they have to make sure that this project has been written by yourself, that you care a lot about this application, this problem that you want to solve, and that you'll be able to pursue it even at the end of your life. And the third thing is big name chasing. So let's unpack them a bit to see what I mean by generic proposal. It's important for you to understand what I mean because if you want to write your application and proposal, you have to be mindful of this problem, that kill proposal before going somewhere. When you apply to too many funders, to too many courses with the same proposal, really, people are taking the same proposal they apply from the ABC. They're just pushing there. I say that they say I've applied to this funder, I've applied to this other funder. You have no story, you have no clarity, no alignment with why this project is important for this funder, why this funder should fund you. At the end of the day, they will just reject you. That means you only have rejection because you apply to too many courses without being strategic in the way you are processing. You apply without adapting or aligning your application or your proposal to the specific funders, and you don't tell your story in a way that the funder realizes that you can deliver what you're talking about. So at the end, you are just rejected. The second thing is about now the big name focus, where you just chase recognition, as I mentioned. You want only recognition or prestige. That means I'm the one who has won this. I'm the first one to have won this project, this Marie Curie project in my institution, for instance. If you focus on this recognition while you are writing it, you will not win. And if you take the prestige you receive from a previous recognition without questioning yourself on how to improve, you will not replicate your success. You have to focus on the credibility, on the trust you receive. Some of you or some other researchers can even depend on senior collaborator for visibility, meaning because they work in a famous lab from a famous researcher, they think that the success they receive is their own success, while it is the success of their collaborators who has perhaps contributed to improving the application. And at the end of the day, they are only reliant on this person. Once they stop being with this collaborator, they stop winning again. Because also some of you lack identity or authority to position yourself like someone who can deliver. This is a critical element because in Africa, I think in our culture, it's always about bragging. And some of you or some of us are even scared to bragging. No, I've not said that we should not be bragging our success. You should show your success to inspire other people to lead, to aspire to a better future. But you should not take it as the element of your success. Your element of success is the credibility, is the knowledge, is the stress you have been putting outside to create a better future. So you should be focusing on that, creating a better future, creating a better world, and showing how you care deeply about community needs. When you do that, you receive credibility and trust from one funder. This one funder signal to other funders that this person is credible. So the second funder, even if the money is higher, is more enthused to give you money than if you didn't have the trust from the first funders. Because they speak all together. They speak all together. They even know that one institution located in Cameroon or in South Africa has been blacklisted. And they will never fund you because you don't even know that your institution has been blacklisted by the funder. But the funder do know that some of institutions outside there don't do the work. They just eat the money. So they don't fund you because it's a risk. The final thing is about undefined path. No roadmap lead to scattered approach. No roadmap lead to stress, endless workload, and overwork. No roadmap lead to funding feel out of reach. At the end of the day, you even start to think that you need only a collaborators to help you get funded. But in reality, what you really need is clarity. Clarity on what you want to create. Once you are clear about what you want to create, even the collaborators start coming to you. The collaborator understand your value because you can clearly articulate your value. You can clearly articulate what you need from the collaborator. But if you are unclear yourself, no one will trust you. So, and the fun part lead to burnout and a style career. You will see talented researchers, really brilliant minds, but they are unable to pursue a career where they are leading. They are still under a collaborator who should give them a project or a small money somewhere in there, while they should be the one leading and providing opportunities for their own students or for other researchers. So these are the three things that make researchers getting stuck. to my understanding again anymore. And the truth is, funding is not linear. Funding is not linear. It has to be up and down because you are getting transformed into the best version of yourself. That means you are going to go find a hill that is very difficult to climb. And some of them, you'll get them after a lot of rejection. But if you have the right strategy, if you have a clear roadmap, and if you are clear in how you communicate, you start to win this. And when you want to win another one that is higher, sometimes you go down again, you gather more evidence before coming back again, etc., etc., etc. Because funding does not reward hard work. It rewards clarity, credibility, and alignment. That's what I understood. That's what I want you to understand. You do not need to work harder than anyone. No, actually, you only need to be clear, credible, and aligned to who you want to become. And those who are financially secure as researchers, they're not necessarily the smallest one. They have simply mastered how to position themselves to win large grants or large and multiple year grants. So they win one grant today that can span for 5 years. And once it's coming to the end, it start applying at the year 2 or year 3 to win another one that will span again 5 years. That's how it works in academia. That's how you should start thinking. So don't apply for one grant and wait. Apply for multiple grants every year, usually 5 or 4. Try to win one, and then you repeat the process again and again. So now let's move on how to win grant predictably. This is again based on my own understanding on my funding formula. I've not written it here, but I'll just explain you what I call the funding formula. I'm sure many of you have already heard about what some of the institutions who are doing grant writing, coaching have already been sharing. They mention usually people, place, person. I'm sure many of you have already heard about this people, place, person. If you have been having some grant courses somewhere, you have been seeing some of this sometimes. So yes, the funding formula is based on the same thing. You need people. Yes, people, which is usually you as a researcher, which is usually you and your team even. The team means the sponsor or the collaborators or the mentors. Usually this is the people, you and your team. Now the project is, of course, your project, which is usually 50% of the point of the marks. They want to assess the boldness of the problem, the approach, and the impact. Those also the significance. And then you have the third P, which is the place. Where are you doing your project? In which institution? In which settings? In which countries? They assess all of this together, and they usually say that you need these 3 things to win grants. That's completely true. But in my funding formula, what I've added is what they have not mentioned in this formula. They say that we need only 3 things: people, place, person. What they don't tell you is that you also need to understand the competition. Because when you have these 3 things, people, place, person, everyone who is also taking care of this people, place, person has the same thing like you. But what makes the difference now? How do they reward? How do they give the award? They assess within the crowd who should be awarded. So that means you should also be mindful of the competitor. You should also be mindful of who is in the course with you to get the funding. You should be mindful of what they have and what you are lacking as a researcher and what you can have as value. And you should make it clear in your application that you have this kind of edge that people competing for the same funders. Some of you even have the same proposal, but the way you have, the perspective you have, or the value you give can make you win. What does it mean? It means that when you apply, you don't only care about you also care about your competition. You also go and assess the past awardee. You assess their CV, you assess what they wrote, you assess where they were coming from, if they're people from your institution or not. You assess all these things. You even try to get friends with them and see if they can give you some tips and how they manage to win, because some of these can help you win also. So you don't stay in your space and say, okay, I'm just focusing on my project. I'm just focusing on my science and the other things I don't care. No, you should care about the competition also. You should care about your league. If you are applying for a getting on funding, you need to know that your CV need to be full. For instance, you need to have a lot of funding to compete with these people. Otherwise, you're not competitive enough. So we are going to get rejected. You will tell me that it's good to be rejected, yes. But if you know that you're going to be rejected, why not working first of all on the foundation to increase your funding chances before going there? It's like going to Champions League. When someone goes to the Champions League, if there's small Champions League, I mean soccer, if there's a small team, you know that they are outside there or they are no chance of winning, for instance, against Barcelona or Real Madrid. When they win, it's okay. It's an outsider who was really well prepared. But they want to learn and study the competition, the competitor first to win. So that's the second thing. The first thing I added in the funding formula. The final thing is what also they don't realize themselves is the funder. The funder himself or itself is already biased. Whether you want it or not, whether we are telling it or not, the funder is biased. The funder is biased. They don't, if they see someone who is a Nobel Prize student against you, knowing from nowhere, because the funder is, they are human being evaluating for the funders, 20, sometimes 25 people, they are human being evaluating for the funders. So they also consider it more in the way they review it than only being honest and give the right information. No, they also be biased. So you have to realize that when you go to apply, accept that there will be some bias and what I do to make sure that I can win grant is that I study the funder properly. I study everything the funder want to fund. I study his exact what it is using, what he really care about, his priorities, everything. And I make sure that my application is really speaking the funder's language. So I'm mimicking literally some of the words he cared the most in my application. I'm not changing my application. I'm just adding some keyword they have been using themselves throughout the all day report, their website. So that signal them that I may be someone interesting. And since my application is usually neat, that means I take a perspective that my competitor does not have yet. At the end of the day, they may be embarrassed to reject me. They may still reject me, but usually when they get rejection, they are so much embarrassed that it's always at the final level of decision that they have to cut my name. And even people from elsewhere are always saying that it's so, so close. The edge is so small because you study everything from the funders. Because if you don't consider the funder, you only consider the people, place, person, at the end, you won't win. Because the funder is also a component of the game. So you have to understand it. And now let me move to the next slide about how to win grant predictably. Now I have a question for you. You are going to write in the chat. Usually, when you see a grant call, the quickest one to come out, that means those which has a value of less than 20K, usually they can give results within 3 months. Within 3 months for the lowest grant, they give result. For this 10K, 5K, usually most of them give result within 3 months. Some of them, which are above 20K up to 500K, they are closer to 6 months. And some are even above 9 months because the money is above 500K. The question to you is, if this year you knew that you could win any kind of money, which one would you make you happy? 10K, 20K, 50K? How much will it make you happy? If you knew that within a year you could have certain amount of money to do your research. Can you write in the chat? How much will it make you happy? Just write something. It doesn't have to be serious. 10K. So if my guy won 10K, she'll be very happy to win 10K within 3 months or within a year. 10K for trimegist also. 20K. So, okay, there's someone said 200K. Okay, that's great. 200K, yes. Someone could plan to win 200K. Someone said $10, no, 10K, I guess. 500K. Okay, thank you, Veron Guavi. So there are some of you who say that, okay, within 3 months, I just need 10K. Some of you say 500K. But actually, to win 10K is pretty simple. It can be 500K twice or just 1K. just 10K once. And what you have to do is then to make sure that you, first of all, identify the funder. We both find out okay. You have to first of all identify the funders who can give you this 10K. All right. The first thing you have to do is to make sure that you have the funders who can give you the first K, this 10K. But you cannot stop to the funders. You need to have not one, but many funders that you can target. And so you're making water. So you need to have this funder. You need to invest, of course, your time, because if you don't invest your time, you're not going to get funded, right? And you need to apply. But you're going to tell me, how am I applying to make sure that I win? I'm going to show you this in the next slide, in the next couple of slides. I'm coming back. So I remember that some of you want to win 500K. That means if you want to win 500K, you can put the effort of applying to 2 projects of 250K or 1 project of 500K or many, because you cannot only apply to one. Usually, to make sure that you win many projects, you need to use, yes, every component I mentioned, but you also need to make sure that you have the call available for you to apply, that you can apply high value application 3 to 5 times per year, and that you win one. To win one. And the other thing I want to say is that to do that, then you need to position yourself as a researcher as of today. An application that you want to apply, you have the funder in mind. You start working on the project before, and don't wait till the call open. Don't wait till they say deadline is in 2 weeks, because usually you see the deadline is short. You cannot win if you write the application within a short time frame, especially the 500K or above. To do that, you need to apply beforehand. For the 10K, it's easy. You just need to have LSCMH and Chercheurs or Cambridge Africa Brother, and you will win this one. The only thing you need to do is to position yourself today. Make sure that your profile that you write online is aligned with what you are telling to the funders in your application. And it's also aligned to what you are telling to the funder that you want to become. Because when you apply to a call, they are assessing, yes, your application, they're assessing, yes, your publication, but they're also assessing who you are as an individual. So they go and Google you. So if you are nowhere in Google, they may not trust you. So you should start positioning yourself as someone who can deliver the problem you want to deliver. Maybe you want to solve end the poverty, or maybe end the malnutrition, or improve health for everyone. You should start to speak in this language as of today. The second thing I want to ask you, I'm going to come back in depth in that again tomorrow. The second thing is that if you want to win 500K or 1 million K, like Dorothy said, she said above 400K, this is what you are doing as effort today. If you do single effort with the time, this is the effort you are putting. Small effort you are putting bring you closer to this goal. That means applying to a call today, because winning 500K against means apply, for instance, to 2 calls or 3 calls with 1 or 50K, 1 or 250K, or 1 or 200K. This means above 500K, right? 50K, 250K, and 300K is above 500K. So it does not have to be 600K or 500K at once. You can break it down and do the small effort to win the first one that come earlier, to win the one that come after 6 months, and to win the one that come after 9 months. If you are doing this small effort within a year, you will have funding. You will have funding. The point is, most of us don't do this effort. Most of us as researchers, we are just moving down. That means you don't take effort today. We delay it to tomorrow, to next month, until we get to zero. We never end up with money. At the end, we are still at the same place. Or if you do an effort once, we are being rejected. Twice, we are being rejected. twice, you have been rejected and say, okay, I'm done. I don't do it anymore. But the point is you have to learn and figure out what is not working. What is not working, that means you have to have mentors to help you understand what is not working, or people who are collaborators to assess that you only need to change small thing in your application. I've seen people being rejected for 0.5, a one word error that the person made in the application. I was reviewing myself. One word error removed 0.5, the person has been rejected. So usually it's a small adjustment that can help you move to this end goal. And what is the price when you don't apply? What is the real price of not applying, of not taking this effort? Can someone tell me? Is it the money that you don't win? What is the real price of not applying? Is it the money that you waste 600K, right? If someone wants to win, could have won 500K or 600K. The person is not applying. What is the real price of that? Lack of experience, yes, what else? What is the real price of not doing the small effort it takes to secure this kind of funding, to become the kind of leader or researcher who will lead and pursue his vision and inspire others? What is the real price of that? Of course, you are wasting money, first of all, because you are wasting the money that you have not been able to apply to, since it was your goal. You had it in your mind, but you never apply. No growing career, yes, what else? What else? Thank you, Lionel. Thank you, Richard. Lack of mentorship. You never know if you can read. Thank you, Elizabeth. What else? So what is happening in your life, Nen? Like, I'm waiting for one answer. What is the real price of not applying? Someone say you never know if you can win. That's good. That means what is happening in your life? In your hands, yes. What else? The consequence, what have you been wasting the most? If I can say that is, what have you wasting the most if instead of doing this effort of progressing toward this goal, you start maybe delaying, postponing, being scared, and you end up having zero, yes, instead of having 500K. So you waste money. What else have you wasted? Time. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Jorgwa. Yes, thank you, Lionel. You wasted time. And this time will never come back. Your money you can even have back it from someone else. But you can never have back your time. You could never claim back your time. Yes, and with time, if you are wasting your time, that means you're also wasting opportunity, you're wasting your growth, you're wasting your potential. So you need to take action. You need to take action on your goal. And it's very easy, again. It's very easy. It's not that you have to be perfect. No, I've won some application. I've made a lot of mistakes in them, but I was still awarded because I was only positioning myself as the kind of researcher who can deliver the work I was talking about. In some of my applications, I've never had publication in mental health before being awarded. I was working in food safety, but my first grant I received was in neonatal health without any single papers in this field. So it means that it's possible. You just have to tell it clearly to the funders. That's the first thing you have to do. Tell it clearly to the funders. Position yourself like someone can deliver. That means working on your vision daily, taking this kind of small step that progress you toward this big goal. So don't think that you will have 500K without having this small one. Except someone put your name in the application and you are collaborators. Yes, it's possible that way. That's why some people are at this level. They say that they have won 600K, 1 million. But when you tell them to apply or to lead, you realize that they are void. They don't have vision. They don't have nothing. And the funder can see that also when you're applying on your own self. So today I want you to take commitment, to take action. You should take action because there's nothing we can teach you that could help you create the future you want if you don't take action. If you are still postponing your future, if you are still delaying your dream, no courses can help you move. No courses. So this day one is for you to understand what is happening, yes, for the funders, but also in yourself, so that you break this limiting belief. It's not because you're in Africa, It's not because people don't know you, it's because you don't take action. And you should take action in the right action. Now let's move on a bit before we close. My screen is frozen again. Oops. So how do we position ourselves? Because I know some people are saying that, yes, but you say that, oh, I'm not doing that. That's how I'm going to explain you now. I mentioned what you need to replicate your success. You need positioning, you need alignment to the funded to yourself, and you need to scale up. Scale up means making sure that you have a pipeline of projects you are putting together every year. That's how people win predictably. You don't even know when they apply. They applied last year for this year. You think they applied this year, why they applied the year before. And that's how they keep having funding. They have just positioned themselves. So how do we position yourself? The positioning I'm talking about is based on your past perceived value, your present, and your future. Past perceived value. So who were you before? The background you had, your experience, the value you received, what problem did you face before? What problem did you face that helped you grow up to become the person you are today? And what have you done previously? Now the present. How are you driving change currently? How are you providing value to the community? Is it relevant to anyone? Does anyone care about it? And are you aligned within you who you are today and the future self you are trying to create? Because remember that we are growing every single day. So what you have been doing previously, what you are doing today should reflect the future self you are trying to create. And you should know that, and you should be able to articulate this one in your application. And the future, this means the future world you want to create, the future world the funder want to create, the vision that you want to see, and the sacrifice you have to take to become that person. This is how I position myself. So my past perceived value was, I had a PhD, I had masters in biology. I'm a clinical biologist. For instance, I work in a hospital primarily, and then I had a PhD in pharmaceutical microbiology. But my PhD was focused on food safety to understand antimicrobial resistance in the One Health concept. That's what I did. And I also did some skills, some training in genomics and in bioinformatics to be able to have the skills to interpret my data. The present, I realize that people, baby are dying in my communities. Babies under 30 days are dying. Is it relevant to the world? Yes, because the United Nations say that we should ensure that everyone is safe and that we have less than 12 deaths per thousand birds in the world. And is it aligned to who I want to become? Yes, I created this version of myself now who care about this problem more than the past version of myself. And I now tell this to the funder that, yes, I did this one in food safety. Yes, I don't have papers, but I care more about this because I'm a mother, because I live in Africa, because it's my community. And the future of the world I see is a future where mothers give birth to baby in good shape and that themselves, they are healthy. And can I pay the sacrifice to become this version of myself? Yes, gladly. And I do the effort daily to learn, to be rejected, to become this future of myself, who create a world where everyone is safe, where every baby is being born are healthy from birth. That's how I position myself in my application. So you need to work on that yourself today. You need to understand what is your past, what is your present, what is your future. Don't tell me that they're not asking you in your application this question. They won't ask you the way I'm telling it to you. They have a kind of way to ask you this one, and they are requesting this kind of vision of the world that you want to create from you. And if you cannot articulate this vision clearly, and if this vision is not aligned to your project and to the funder, they won't fund you. That's very simple. That's what I realized myself. So if they're not aligned to that, they won't fund you. So your story is the foundation of a fundable idea and thriving career. And you see that you are going to the end of the video today, and you have to ask yourself, what is the story you want people to tell themselves when they see you or your project? Do you even know if there's a story behind? Can someone think about you and be inspired or be motivated and feel confident about what you are going to do? So you should need to think about it actually. That's how you create your idea that is going to be awarded, because a fundable idea is something that comes from your soul. It's something that comes from your purpose. It's not something that you take from a book and you put it in a paper. Usually when you see a really smart hypothesis, it's unlikely to be something that comes from a book. It comes from a perspective someone has understood so well that it can articulate it. It looks like you have seen it before, but you have never seen it before, because big project of 500K, they want novelty. So no one has been working on that. And you are the one articulating it for the first time in the simplest term possible. And people feel that they know it, they want to Google it, there's nothing about it. And they realize that this is novel. No one is working on that. And they give you the money because everything you have been saying in your application is aligned to the kind of application they're looking for, the kind of research they're also looking for, and the future they want to create. That's positioning. Now, alignment. Alignment, I have 2 questions for you. 3 questions is the who, the why, and the how. We do that for the funders. Who is funding? You need to know the funders who is funding in your field. You need to know why they are funding, what are their priorities. You need to know how they are funding. There are funders out there who fund 3 times per year. They have a cycle of 3 times per year. Some are funding only annually. Some are funding every 2 years. So you need to know how they are funding. Now you need to know the researcher. That is for you. Who are you as a researcher? Why the problem you have chosen or changed drive you? Why this problem is driving you? And how are you solving it? Everything you're going to say for each of these answers should match what the funder is also caring about, the priorities and the cycle, because the way you are going to solve it should be aligned also to the timeline of the funder priorities. If it's not aligned, you may not be at the right moment, but you may find another funders who care about the problem you want to solve a lot. This is alignment. The third thing now is, this is what, with these 2 things, you can already win grant. This is what one of the mentees who contacted me last year, I think we worked only for 2 months. She was applying for a Marie Curie postdoctoral fellowship. She had nothing at all. But the Marie Curie postdoctoral fellowship is one of the calls where you really need to position yourself in a certain way. You need to make sure that the story you are telling in the application is aligned, yes, with the funders, but also to the collaborators who is hosting you. So she did everything I told her to do, and she had a score of 90%. 90%, that's within 2 months of work. And the only reason she did not receive money was because the money was exhausted, even with this 90%, because for Marie Curie now, you need sometimes 94%. So she received a Seal of Excellence award, recommending all the funders to give her money, confirming that the application was a great application. Just with positioning and alignment, you can do that very well if you understand your story and if you understand where you want to go. The final thing now is scaling up. I've mentioned that you should not chase money. You should think about building credibility first. And that's how you turn one small pilot project. Remember about the structure of the funding model I mentioned. Small pilot project, it can be a get started or it can be a get skill project. Usually in a get skill project, they always give you the possibility to gather information, to gather some preliminary data. So with this small pilot project, you can end up having 100,000 project at the end of the day. So this small pilot project that you take, if you nurture it well, if you don't sleep on it, you nurture it, you can end up having $100,000 from this project. I did all the project I won was with one story, one idea, one problem. I had nothing much. The story of baby dying in my country, the story of Nune dying in my country, the story that I'm a mother, and because I've seen how it was easy to die, or how it was easy for baby to die, it made me realize that I cannot look away. So this is my story. One idea, I'm not gynecologist, I'm not pediatrician, I'm only microbiologist. So I care about bacteria. So I start investigate what is killing babies in my community. The single idea I had was, what is killing babies in my community? The one problem was that sepsis. Sepsis is killing baby in my community. So I tried to, all my applications are now focusing on that. So if you have another story, you can change and see your own story, one idea, and one problem you want to start first. And from the data you will receive from this project, you will continue to go and apply to another funder, explaining them that you receive pilot data from money from this funder, you generate some pilot data, and now you want to push you. And normally, yeah, we have a lot of funding, but as you move down, the money diminish, the money increase, but the number of selected diminish. So that's why you see the funnel is smaller down there. So that's how you can scale up. Don't sleep on the one funding you receive. Take any kind of opportunity as a stepping stone for the next step. And that's how you build, yes, a fundable identity, yes, a fundable credibility, and yes, a pipeline that can ensure you that you win grant predictably because you position yourself, you then align yourself and you scale up. You take one project, feed another one, and that makes it you sure to win funding. So after you win one grant, use it to build on result to expand your first grant, get invited for more exclusive funding or collaboration, position yourself for bigger multi-year grants, and negotiate better roles, better salaries, and career moves. Because once you start winning, normally other institutions start calling you also. They start calling your name because they want to see you at their table. So that's how you win grant predictably with this positioning, alignment, and scale up. So winning grant is not about positioning. It's not about, it's about positioning. It's not about application volume. And funder want researchers who have long-term impact. Remember that. Funder wants strategic researchers who have long-term impacts. They don't want you to get funded and running away. They don't see you anymore. They follow you so well. If it's 500,000 that they give you, they hope you to progress. They will ask you some kind of report every year to see if you have been receiving any kind of output or impact. So then you can use it to build career security and increase your income. Because at the end of the day, funders knows that scientists don't have enough money. So they give you money to do the kind of research that saves the community, that change the world, and so that you are also stable in your mind as you are doing that. And finally, winning funding is not just about your research. Winning funding, as I've said, is the fastest way to long-term financial stability in academia. And remember also that funders don't just fund research, they fund people. So as you are writing your application, realize that the funder is not only scoring your application, they are also funding you. They are also funding the kind of researcher you are becoming and the kind of impact you create in the world. I think I'm done for today. I come tomorrow for the from story to fundable idea. Yeah, we need you to have your idea, of course. And we have only a demo session where I will be showing you the tools I'm using or that you can also use to clarify your vision, the future you want to create, and also how you can use some tools easily to shape it. Thank you everyone. I'm not taking now question. If you have any question, if you have any comment, please do ask them. Ifeoma, if I say it correctly, I hope I say it correctly. Thank you. Ifeoma, can you speak? Can you speak, Ifeoma?
Very much. Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes. We can hear you now.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for this wonderful presentation. It's really inspiring and it's an eye opener to winning grants. And I hope that after these sessions, we'll be able to win grants. I have a question. When you mentioned you showed an evaluation report of someone that really wrote a compelling grant, but it was not awarded because maybe
I don't know. Do you hear? Can anyone hear Ifeoma properly? Is it me? Can you hear her? Ifeoma, I'm sorry, we cannot hear you properly. We cannot hear you, Ifeoma. Can you? Yes, you are breaking. You are breaking, Ifeoma. I have to pause you. Ifeoma, I'm sorry, you are breaking. We hear you part way. We could not hear you at the end. The network is disturbing. It looks like we have a. Is it Richie? Hans? Will you provide us with this story? Which story is Richie? Yes, Lionel. Yes, you have the floor, Lionel.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay, yeah. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. And thank you for this very interesting presentation. I think it was very insightful. I've learned like quite a lot of things, specifically like regarding why we are getting stuck as a researcher, and also the thing that you elaborate about the different type of researcher and different type of funding. I think it brought more clarity. The question that I have was regarding the funding formula. It's something that I was not familiar with. So you did explain like the people, place, person, but I didn't quite well grasp the explanation about the person. What is the person represented in that formula? That's my first question. And the second one is, I don't know if it's a question but you said in the beginning of your presentation that Prof. Stephen told you a secret, and from there you started winning proposal. What was that secret? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lionel, for your question. I think the first one, the funding formula, I've mentioned that you have three P's and I've added C and F. C is competitors and F is the funders itself. The P, the people, is usually you as a principal investigator and your team. So in all application, they are taking the information of the principal investigator, a lot of information from the PI, and then they are taking some information from the team, the sponsor, the mentor, the collaborators, everyone involved in the application. They want to understand how linked they are, how close they are, how if they have the same vision, if they can collaborate on big project together, because sometimes they even assess if it's a real collaboration or not. So if there is no evidence of past collaboration, sometimes they won't fund you because of the risk for you to not deliver the project. If it was a new relationship, they won't fund you. But if they can see that you have been progressing, doing work and activities with the same kind of person, and you have a clear understanding of what you want to solve all together in your team and you as a PI, they feel more, they feel your application is more credible. They are more confident in giving you the money. Of course, they assess the project and the place of the research also. And then I was adding to competitors, which is people outside of you, they have to compare now the score. And at the end of the day, sometimes it's usually small things that make the difference. And you need to share how you outclass your competitors in your application. And you need to say it in a way that resonates with the reviewer so much that at the end, it gives you more score than your competitors. It's not easy to do. It's something that you need to learn how to do if you want to increase your chances of success. Me, I usually do when you have reviewers who are strong, they may change one word, one single word, but that is changing the interpretation a reviewer can have in the sentence you have written. And the second one that you said about the story, the secret that they gave me, that's the one I'm sharing with you now. The first thing he asked me, Stephen, was, why? Why do you want to do this project? That's the first thing he asked me. Why? I have to explain him explain to him because it was a Zoom call, even for here, this was a call that we had. They had to ask me why. And that's why I also start with the why to people, their story. If they don't know your story, they say, okay, this is your story, but now how are you going to get there? I say, I want to solve neonatal mortality in my country. So the project I had was big. I needed a lot of money to do this project. He said, no, let's start small like this. A small project, made very, very, very small. Very small for one pathogen, not even all, just one. And that's how we started. It was not too much. It was just this small project and understanding my why. I said, I don't have papers. I don't have papers in this area. It's okay, but people can still win even without it. So I've not been lying to the friend. I tell them I don't have papers, but this is what I now want to do. And I'm moving to this, and I need your money. That's how I started winning, just telling the truth and showing where I was going step by step. And the small step I was asking for each small funders was to answer the question of what is killing babies? Have I answered your question? Have I answered your question, Yonel? Okay. Yes, because it's something that I've never done this handwriting course, but I know that all of them that I've been watching is always some test that has been put from Google and been shared. It's okay. It's normal. This is also useful to tell you that the project needs to be crystal clear. The point is you cannot be crystal clear if yourself you don't know what you are doing, if you don't understand where you are going, because at the end of the day, there's something that will be broken in it. And the reviewer who read it, you know that something is missing and they put you out. So that's why the way I share my story or I share the knowledge I understood is completely different from what has been shared elsewhere. I know someone is not teaching it because some of them know it, but don't know how to articulate it. So it may be different. And I've seen I hope I answer your question again, Jonel. Let me know if you still have any question. And I've seen a question about, is it Ngono? How to find funding and application opportunities. What do you mean, Elizabeth? How to find fundings and application opportunities? Is it two questions in one? So funding, usually you either follow the funders pages. There are many, many ways of finding fundings. I can just share some quickly. You can either follow the funders or review their page sometimes because they all have website. If you review their page, you can see that they have some call. They can tell you this year or next year, or they fund 3 times per year. That's the first thing. The second thing is to register to the newsletter. The third thing is to attend the conference where you can have name of the people always acknowledge the funder or the funding they receive. You can also take some information there from the acknowledgement of posters or conference. You can see that this is the funder who provide the money for this work. And you can also ask the people. Some people ahead of you can have collaborators who knows funding is coming from these funders at this time. That's why you need to have the network. Some people are aware of the funding coming when it has never been published. You just have to be in the network to see it. If you are not, you won't see it. So I hope I gave you some tips to learn it, to go and start today, Elizabeth. And the question is, Mabel, how do you ensure your proposal align with funders' priority, given that you have to prepare a proposal ahead of time for application? That's a good question. Yes, alignment is the most difficult part. It's something that we learn a lot and daily. So for the first thing to do is to read the funding calls. Yes, when the call come out. The second thing is to read the funders itself website, the funders website and the funders report. They always put what they care about in the application. So if they say neonatal mortality, antimicrobial resistance, schistosomiasis, and they say climate change, and you start talking maybe about renewable energy. Perhaps it's still some of them priority in climate change, but they have to be articulated in the way that it is maybe around the top priorities. And they usually say, this is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one. So as they're moving down, it means that the priority is also of a lower level. They can still fund you, but it's lower. So if you are more from the higher level, you have more chance. Now you have to go inside to try to understand really what is the problem they want to solve. For instance, antimicrobial resistance. Is it the infection prevention control? Do they want to create diagnostic tools? So you have to understand. You don't read it in one day and then try to figure out. You read it several times to understand. And you also ask to collaborators, mentors, to share with you what they have gathered from that. I have been traveling to go from one country to another to just listen, to understand what my mentors or my sponsor has understood from his own journey as a researcher in academia, from funders. You may tell me that one thing is that Wellcome and NIHAR, which are in UK, are totally different funders. They look similar, but they don't fund the same thing. So if they apply for this, they will tell you, if you apply with this application to Wellcome, you will not win. Because Wellcome is not funding community application, for instance. We say, go with this application to NIHR because they like community work. That's an example. So you have to also discuss with mentors and collaborators and understand what insight they can give you. Now, the alignment per se, once you have written your application, usually once you have written your proposal, you share it with someone who is advanced, who is more senior than you. This person can assess your fundability potential or your chances of success with what you wrote. And if something is missing from the concept note, from 2 to 3 pages concept note, they can tell you if you have chances or not. You don't even write the word proposal, just 3 to 2 pages. They know if you have chances of being funded by funder A or B. If they tell you, no, this is not clear enough, if the person is really proficient, he has already won this kind of funding, you will know if you continue enough. If it's not ready, you have to go and work again. Until they tell you that it looks better, it looks fundable. Now you start polishing your idea because usually the alignment comes from the clarity you have with what you want to solve. And it takes time to nurture it. This is for the big project. For the small project, usually you need to be aligned with yourself and what you want to do. And if the funder is not demanding a lot, you have to use the keyword he's been using in the right way of your application. It will give you more chances of success. I hope I answer your question also, Mabel. We are already over time. I'm going to add 2 questions before going. Yes, Ifeoma, you are back. I see a lot of questions. Why this question now? Okay, in the French formula, what is the place, location, institution? I chose does not have a good reputation. Yes, if your institution does not have good reputation, you're in trouble. Because you may not know it. So they won't tell you that your institution does not have good reputation. You are just going to be rejected without even being sending out for review. You're just going to be rejected many times. The things I can advise you is to find an alternative institution and try again and see if it changes your chances of success or not. If it changes some things, that means the institution maybe had an issue or may not be so much credible for the funder. So you have to change sometime and have more institution to play around with that. Is it possible to get, that is Lanvin, is it possible to get a funding in a different field of your previous study, but you have all the skills necessary? I didn't understand your question. If it's possible to get funding in a different field from your previous studies, but you have all the necessary skills. I think everything is possible actually when you take effort and the sacrifice it can take you. But it's true that I will advise you to start with something because you can have the skills, but you don't have data from the new field. So they don't know if you are knowledgeable of the field in question. So it may be good to try to generate some preliminary data with some project of a lower value and go up. But if everything is possible, if you also, especially if you also already have one grant before. So if you have been awarded a grant of 1 million before in another field, and now you decide to change to another field, yes, you can win 500K grant with no problem. That's what senior researchers do. They can move because they are finished to do the first field, now move to the other field. Yes, Ifeoma, or I've seen Ifeoma hands raised. I've seen, I think, was it Nadia? Nadia? Was it Nadia or Ifeoma? Are you there? The microphone. Who want to speak again? Yes, you are here. Okay, can you say it? Can you take the floor, Ifeoma, if you want, before we close and we come back tomorrow? Yes, people have to go. Let me answer to the final question while Ifeoma is sorting out her microphone. Stack up. Please, can you throw more light on the value of having an established supervisor as reference and how this affects someone without one? Or can a candidate without a solid reference backing improve their chances? When using a neutral officer, not just well as friends. That's a lot of question in one. Thank up. Okay, can I throw more? The value of established supervisor. I won't say that the one I grant was because of the established professor. I've also been rejected to grant with established professor. So it's not changing that much usually. It's not changing that much your chances. The only thing they need to know is that the person behind you, he really knows you first, really knows your vision, and is pushing you to become this person, the best version of yourself. So it's not about just a big name. It's really about serving someone who is pushing you to unleash your full potential. You can be rejected with someone big in your application. I've been rejected with people big in my application, and also been awarded, but I don't think it was really linked to the name of the person. But being said, that means someone who is neutral, does not know you at all, who is just a professor and writing a generic letter, will affect your change, will undermine your change. Because if someone is a professor and is writing a letter that is not personalized according to who you are as an individual and who you want to become as an individual and why the funder should care about you and fund you, then you are undermining your chance. You should always make sure that the person who is writing your reference letter knows you well, trusts you, see you as a big person in the future and can articulate it in the application, in the letters confidently. And if you don't do that, the funder, if they don't take this person, you are reducing your chance because the person who is going to have this right person will have more points than you for the reference letter, for instance. Yes, Nadia. Can you put, Nadia, do you have a question? And Tanko, I hope I answer your question. Richie, I hope I answer your question. Lanvin, I hope I have answered your question. Okay. Postdoctoral fellowship, it depends if it's an award or not. If it's a postdoctoral fellowship that is based from an institution or university giving you money to come and oversee, I don't take it. If it's a job recruitment process, I don't take it as fellowship. But if it's a postdoctoral fellowship like Marie Curie or Humboldt or others in this line, I take it as grant. Because yes, they want you to move, yes, but they also give you money. It can be even 200K or 550K. So I take them as grant. Small grant is less than 10K, less than 5K, small grant. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Tomorrow, please come with your ideas. We are going to have some kind of demo, so maybe you are going to write stuff. I hope you will move in the creation of your concept note, since now you have to write your concept note. So you have to do some kind of homework in you. I hope you took the pictures of the perspective, value, future to understand your story, because that is really critical, according to me. And I think it's the easiest way for you to generate funding. Thank you and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.